Welcome, changemakers and believers in a brighter tomorrow. Today, we're not just talking about a crisis. We're talking about possibility. Amid the scorching sands of northern Mali, where the price of gasoline has skyrocketed to 7,000 CFA francs per liter, something extraordinary is happening. Communities are banding together. Activists are defying the odds. Innovators are rewriting the rules of survival. And every day, ordinary people prove that even in the darkest moments, hope is a choice, one we can all fuel. By the end of this story, you'll see how Mali's struggle isn't just a tale of hardship, but a blueprint for collective power. And to our incredible subscribers, your support has already moved mountains. Let's keep lighting this fire. Picture this. In a sun-baked village near Timbuktu, a group of teenagers rigs a solar panel to a rusty water pump. They laugh as clear water gushes into a bucket for the first time in weeks. Nearby, a farmer shares his last jerrycan of gasoline with a neighbor so she can drive her sick child to a clinic. These aren't scenes from a movie. They're real-life acts of defiance in Mali, where communities are rewriting the script of despair. Yes, gasoline costs 7,000 CFA francs a liter here. Yes, borders are closed, markets are empty, and tensions with Algeria have reached a boiling point. But today, we're focusing on the sparks of light and how you can help them grow. Let's start with the facts, but through a lens of hope. On April 3, 2025, a diplomatic rift between Mali and Algeria erupted after a military drone was shot down near their shared border. Algeria closed its borders, suspending fuel exports that Mali relies on for 90% of its energy. Overnight, gasoline prices soared from 500 CFA francs to 7,000. Chaos followed. Hospitals went dark, food trucks stalled, and families pawned heirlooms to buy fuel. But within days, something shifted. In Bamako, the capital, students organized fuel caravans, convoys of motorcycles and bicycles delivering gasoline donated by southern communities to the hardest-hit northern regions. "We filled soda bottles with fuel and strapped them to our backs," says Aisha, a 22-year-old engineering student. "It's dangerous, but what's the alternative? Let our people die?" In Gao, women's collectives began bartering vegetables for gasoline, creating a new economy of solidarity. "We trade okra for half a liter, then use that fuel to transport more goods," explains Fatimata, a mother of 3. "It's not perfect, but it keeps our children fed." Even in Manaka, the epicenter of the crisis, elders revived ancient rainwater harvesting techniques to bypass broken pumps. "Our grandparents survived droughts without fuel," says village chief Ousmane. "We can too." This isn't to downplay the suffering. Amadou, a taxi driver in Timbuktu, still spends sleepless nights in gas lines. "I miss my daughter's laughter," he admits. "But when I see strangers sharing fuel, I remember we're not alone." His story echoes across the region. In Mopti, fishermen now paddle wooden pirogues instead of using motorboats, their nets half empty, but their resolve unbroken. "The lake is overfished, but we'll adapt," says fisherman Diarra. "We always do." Mariam, a teacher in Bandiagara, walks 10 miles daily to a school where half her students have vanished. Yet her eyes brighten as she describes the book buses volunteers now run, mobile libraries powered by bicycle, bringing education to kids who can't reach classrooms. "We're planting seeds," she says. "Even in drought, seeds can grow." The crisis has also birthed unlikely heroes. Take 16-year-old Karim in Kidal, who modified his family's donkey cart to run on recycled cooking oil. "It smells like fried plantains," he laughs, "but it gets us to the market." Or Dr. Aminata in Gao, who turned her clinic's courtyard into a solar-powered charging station for medical devices. "We use car batteries and sunlight," she says. "No one taught us. We just figured it out." The rift between Mali and Algeria runs deep. Algeria accuses Mali of harboring separatist groups. Mali alleges Algerian support for border militias. But here's the good news. Diplomacy is not dead. Last week, youth activists from both nations launched a TikTok campaign, Number Borders Can't Divide Us, sharing stories of cross-border friendships and trade. A viral video shows an Algerian mechanic teaching a Malian teen to repair a solar generator via Zoom. "Fuel isn't the only energy that matters," the caption reads. "We have each other." Behind the scenes, back-channel negotiations are simmering. The African Union has proposed a green truce, a deal to reopen borders in exchange for joint investment in renewable energy projects. "Imagine solar farms in the Sahara powering both nations," says AU mediator Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Jr. "This crisis could be the catalyst for a green revolution." Even geopolitical rivals are taking note. China, eyeing Mali's vast lithium reserves, has offered to fund solar panel factories in exchange for mining rights. France, Mali's former colonizer, is under pressure to cancel debt in return for climate initiatives. "The world is watching," says Malian activist Issa Coulibaly. "We can either be a cautionary tale or a model. And that's where you come in, heroes." To our 50,000-plus subscribers, you've already shown that awareness is action. When we covered Sudan's crisis, your super thanks funded a borehole that now gives water to 2,000 people. When you shared our Congo series, mining reforms gained momentum. Today, Mali needs that same magic. Click below to send a super thanks. Your 2 could buy a liter of fuel for a family in Menaka. Your 10 could print pamphlets for peace rallies. Share this video with #FuelHope, and let's trend resilience. Tag influencers, journalists, and policymakers. Make Mali impossible to ignore. But let's dream bigger. Imagine Mali and Algeria reopening borders not just for fuel, but for joint solar farms that power both nations. Imagine the Sahel becoming a hub of green innovation, where sunlight replaces oil. It's not a fantasy. Engineers in Mali are already prototyping bicycle-powered generators, while Algerian startups design affordable solar grids. The roadblocks? Greed, distrust, short-term thinking. But history favors the stubborn. Remember how South Africa's apartheid fell to grassroots pressure? How Liberia rebuilt after civil war through women's peace circles? Mali's turning point is now, and it starts with us. To our subscribers, you're not just viewers, you're architects of this new story. Every super thanks funds a journalist in Mali. Every comment pressures a politician. Every share teaches the algorithm that hope sells. Let's flood the inboxes of African Union leaders with demands for mediation. Let's partner with influencers in Algeria and Mali to humanize the other side. Let's prove that crises don't have to end in collapse. They can birth innovation. As I film this, the sun rises over Menaka. Fatuma, a grandmother who once prayed for rain, now teaches neighbors to build solar stills, devices that pull drinking water from air. "We're done waiting for miracles," she grins. 1,000 miles away, diplomats scroll through #FuelHope tweets. The gap between them is closing, so smash that like button if you believe in Fatuma's vision. Subscribe and hit the bell if you're ready to build it with her. In the comments, tell me, should we crowdfund solar panels for Mali, petition the UN, or maybe you have a brighter idea? Let's crowdsource hope, because the story of Mali isn't over. It's a prologue to a world where crises spark connection, not division, where borders bend to humanity, where every click, every dollar, every voice fuels a revolution of care. Let's write that world together.